Common denominator. So when we add fractions, we need to make sure that we have the same denominator. Then we can add the numerators together, and then we keep the same denominator. And then finally, we might have to reduce the fraction if needed. So let's look at example 1. What is the total thickness of two pieces welded together that is 1/4 inch thick and 2/4 inch thick? We're going to use the following. So we have 1/4 plus 2/4. So we can see we have the same denominator. So we can go ahead and add, because we cannot add until they have the same denominator. And then all we do is we add the numerators together. So we go 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3. And then we keep the same denominator as 4. So we just have 3/4 inch thick of when we weld this together. Now let's look at another example. What is the difference in thickness of two steel plates? One is 3/16 inches thick and one is 5/16 inch thick. So we're going to use the following. We have 5/16 minus 3/16. So we see we have the same denominator. We're going to go ahead and subtract them. So we have the same denominator, so now we can go ahead and move forward. So 5, then minus 3. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2/16. Notice 2 and 16 have a common factor of 2. So we can go ahead and reduce this. So we can go ahead and reduce this by 2 on the top and the bottom. So this would just become 1/8, because we divided this by 2 and then we divided this by 2. So we just get 1/8. Now let's do another example. Example 3, solve for the following. So this one we have two operations within this problem. We have 2/7 plus 5/7 minus 3/7. So we can address this in either way. We could first deal with the addition part, like here, or we could also deal with it here. But let's go ahead and just rewrite this first. I think we should go ahead and just move forward with the addition part. So we see that we have the same denominator on all of them. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 plus 5. So 2 plus 5 is equal to 7/7 as we keep the same denominator. Now we haven't done anything with this subtraction part. So we're just going to go ahead and just bring that straight down and now do this problem. So we just made this now into one final step. So with subtraction, we're going to go ahead and go 7 minus 3 as we have the same common denominator. So we keep the denominator, which is 7, and 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. So we have 4/7 as our fraction for the solution. Now let's do another example. Example 4. Now we have 4 numbers that we need to either add together or subtract. So we have 1/6 minus 4/6 minus 3/6 plus 2/6. Now, we can do this in multiple steps. So we can go 1/6 minus 4/6 minus 3/6 plus 2/6. I think we should just we'll just move left to right. So the first thing we're just going to do is we're just going to address this part, the first two numbers. So we have 1/6 minus 4/6. Well, we have the same denominator for all of them, so we can go ahead and move forward. So we have 6. Now 1 minus 4 is equal to -3. So 1 minus 4 is -3, so we just have -3/6 from this first part here. Then we're going to go ahead and just drop the rest down. So we have minus 3, 6 plus 2, 6. So now we're going to go ahead and just deal with these two numbers. So we have minus 3, 6 minus 3, 6. So minus 3 is what we're doing with minus 3. So this is really just going 3 plus 3 and keeping the sign of the negative. So 3 plus 3 is 6, but we have a negative sign, so we just leave the negative there. Then we have negative 6 over 6, and then we're going to go ahead and drop this last part, which is 2, 6. So now we can go ahead and deal with it. So now we have negative 6 over 6, and then we go plus 2, 6. So when we have negative 6 plus 2, we get negative 4 over 6. Then we're going to have to go ahead and reduce top and bottom by 2, just divide by 2, so we get negative 2/3. This would be our final solution. Now, another thing is when dealing with subtracting, instead of an alternative way to done this part is to think of, we can go 6 minus 2, which is equal to 4, but then we keep the sign of the larger number, so that would be negative. So that would have been negative 4. So this is another way if going negative 6 plus 2 was something that was a little bit more uncomfortable. You can do this alternative route here.